This video is brought to you by the awesome folks over at AT&T. Hey guys, this is Daniel from DLT Reviews, and this is our full video review of the Samsung Galaxy Note 5. So let's start off with the design and build quality of this phone, as it is a really big change and a really big step for Samsung to use new materials like glass and metal, unlike their flimsy, cheap plastic phones of long time ago now. Last year's Note phone, which was the Note 4, had metal built into it on the frame, but still on the back it was plastic again, and it had that faux leather thing that some people didn't really like. I liked it kind of a little bit, but not as much as I like the new glass construction they have now, and it just looks really nice. The back is kind of a special, unique kind of design that I haven't really seen that much on phones, which is it has a curved glass back, which I have been wanting this for a very long time now, and to finally see it is super awesome. It makes the phone feel smaller than it is, which is a good thing because this phone is pretty big, as it should be, because the Note series is the pioneer of what we call phablets today. Anyways, on the front, we still have that Samsung design, which is you know, they could change it, but I kind of like it because it has the symmetrical bezels. It has the physical home button, which kind of had to get used to again because all my phones have the buttons on screen. But having a home button is nice, especially since it has a fingerprint sensor built in. And it's pretty fast as well. Not as fast as the iPhone 6s's fingerprint sensor, but it is way faster compared to the Note 4 or even the S5's fingerprint sensors, because those had those weird slide your finger to unlock thing that never worked for anyone. And here it's pretty accurate, although it sometimes couldn't read my fingerprint, but most of the time, about 70 or 80% of the time, the fingerprint sensor works, so that is a very good thing. And the bezels over on the sides are really small. It's almost as if there are no bezels, but you just see a tiny sliver of it. Now that we're done talking about the design of this phone, let's move over to the display, as it is one of the greatest things about this phone actually. And it has a 5.7-inch Quad HD Super AMOLED display with a pixel density of 518 pixels per inch, which is a whole lot of pixels. And let me tell you, this is one of the best displays I have ever seen on a smartphone, if not the best. And that's no surprise, as it does come from Samsung, and Samsung's really well known for making awesome displays. And since it's an OLED display, that means all the colors pop. TouchWiz has a bunch of vibrant colors, so you see all that and it's just gorgeous. And that plus, again, it's an AMOLED display, so whenever you see anything black, it's pitch black. The pixels are off. They don't emit any light, unlike LCD displays, which has a backlight, which has light all the time. So whenever you see anything black, it's not truly black. Here it is, and that's the reason why I love OLED displays. And here on the Note 5, the display is just awesome. So if you watch lots of Netflix, Hulu, YouTube, or whatever, it just will look really awesome on this phone. And the only downside to this is the speakers. The speakers aren't bad, but they're just not the best for watching videos and all media and stuff. If they were on the front, then I would assume it would sound better, but since they're right on the bottom, it kind of makes it hard to listen to if your finger covers it up. So if you're playing a game or even watching a video in bed, your finger will most likely go over the speaker and then the sound will get all muffled up. So that's not that good, but at least it's better than putting it on the back away from you. But still, I would prefer it go on the front. Let's see if they'll do that next year. Now let's talk about what is powering this powerful phone, as all Note series phones have been. and it has an Exynos 7420 CPU, which is manufactured and designed by Samsung themselves. It is their latest and greatest processor, and it is the same CPU used in the Samsung Galaxy S6, S6 Edge, and S6 Edge Plus. And Samsung is pretty confident about their Exynos series chips now, so they've included them in their smartphones, and it performs pretty well on the operating system it runs on, Android Lollipop 5.1, and it does have their own TouchWiz UI on top of that. And the TouchWiz UI used to be some really laggy skin that everyone hated, the atrocious bloop bloop nature sounds. Everyone just hated it, including me. But now they've improved upon it a ton. It used to be app management sucked, but now 4 gigs of RAM plus the new TouchWiz UI, it's really just no more problems anymore. It runs smooth as a phone should be in 2016 or 2015, whatever. So in all, what I'm trying to say is the hardware is super powerful and the software is much improved from previous TouchWiz versions. And the only thing I don't like about this is the stock launcher and the settings app. Let's start with the stock launcher. Stock launcher, some people may like it. I thought I did like it, but it was just too clunky and I didn't really like it. So I moved over to the Google Now launcher, and that's the beauty of Android. You can change whatever launcher you want and you could do that. So it's awesome, and I usually do that with all my phones. And the second thing, which is the settings app, is just like, what the heck, Samsung? Why do you still have the tab thing? It just is really confusing, and I'm pretty sure no one likes it, so you guys better go to the regular list view like everyone else has. Even LG has an option to go to list view, which in my opinion is the best way to do the settings app. The tab view just sucks. I don't really know why they still do it. But if Samsung really wants to keep the tab view, just give us an option to use either of them, just like LG does. That would be very nice. One new thing TouchWiz has been offering since the S6 is the new theme store, which is a really nice touch on customization, and I really loved how Samsung did this. It's basically when you go into the theme store, you can download any theme you want and then apply it, and then it just changes everything from the icons to inside the apps, even the notification bar. And the only con to this is whenever you download a new launcher, for example Google Now launcher, the icons will not transfer over, and it's the stock Samsung icons, which don't look that bad, but if you really hate them, then there's nothing you can do, so you have to stay on the regular TouchWiz launcher. But other than that, the theme store is a really great touch to the new TouchWiz. Now let's move on to another thing that the Note 5 is great at, and that is the camera and the photos and videos it produces. Man, this camera is so awesome. I think this is the best camera out there on the market, period. It produces such high quality photos with that 16 megapixel sensor, and it can record in 4K video as well. It also has optical image stabilization, also known as OIS. It has an LED flash right there, which is part of the heart rate sensor. If you care about that, you know, works, so it's just there. I don't know why they keep it, but anyways, the photos it produces, colors are on point, low light photos are really good. I just can't complain about this camera. It just performs better than any other phone I've seen before. Front facing camera is okay as well, you know, it has the 5 megapixel sensor right there, and you can take your selfies on it, there's no problem with that. And there's really nothing much to the front camera anyways. But in all, it's a really great camera, and I don't see why you wouldn't like this camera at all. If you're looking for a smartphone with a really good camera, then the Note 5 would be one of your top choices. So now we have to move on to something that I find disappointing of the Note 5, and that is the battery and the battery life in general. I know every phone manufacturer out there does this too, but Samsung has made their phone thinner and lighter, and by doing that, they've made the battery smaller. Now it's 3000 milliamp hours, which is smaller than last year's Note 4, and the battery life just isn't that good as it was before. Note phones used to have battery life so good you could probably even make it to the second day without charging it. But now, it just doesn't work like that anymore. It's just average. You could use it for a day, but then you have to plug it in at the end of the day. Yeah, the battery life is disappointing, but to make up with that, Samsung has included super fast charging, which is what they claim. So basically, if you use their wall brick that is included, you can have super fast charging on this, and from what I've seen, it is pretty fast, but I wouldn't say it's super fast. It also has PMA and Qi wireless charging, both standards on here, which is really good for compatibility. And that's about it for the battery. It's not removable like last year, and every other year. And it doesn't have a micro SD expansion slot because there is no removable back, which I really want them to get a removable back and just figure it out. But the battery is okay, and if you don't need super good battery life, just average battery life, then Note 5 is okay-ish. So this being a Note phone, it has to have at least two requirements. That being, it has to have a big screen, and it also needs to have an S Pen. And this year's S Pen comes with some new features and a new mechanism to take it out. So basically this year, you have to click it, and then the small portion will come out, and then you pull it out with your fingernail, something like that. And because it has a clicker, it's like a real pen, and like real pens, we always tend to click them, and sometimes I just take it out of the phone and start clicking it because I'm bored. But anyways, it does have a pretty nice clicker at the top, as I said before, but the S Pen itself is made out of plastic, and again, it feels like I could break it when I just bend it a little. One thing you should not do with this S Pen though is put it in backwards, because that will ruin your Note, and I don't even know why someone would want to put their S Pen in backwards, but if you're someone who wants to do that, don't, because it will break your phone. Anyways, the new features are, if you take your S Pen out, you could start writing stuff and it won't waste that much battery life because it has a black screen, and since it's an OLED display, all the pixels will be off except the white parts when you write on it, which is a really nice feature. And this feature comes in handy when, for example, if someone's giving you your phone number, you don't have a notepad, you just take your phone out and then take the S Pen out and then start writing. Just as simple as that. Another useful thing is the new scroll capture feature, which is basically when you're viewing a long page, like a Wikipedia page, you can just use scroll capture and capture the whole page, so then you could save that picture into your gallery instead of taking a bunch of screenshots simultaneously, which is kind of annoying whenever I do it on other phones. But with this phone, you just capture the whole page and then it's there for you to save offline. So you could also use this with Google Maps, and really there's a whole lot of applications out there that you could use this with. Another thing I have to quickly say about this phone before I end this video is that because of the new glass and metal construction, the glass on the back gets fingerprinted up really quick, and it's really easy to fingerprint it up, and it's just, when fingerprints get on your phone, you want to clean it because it looks so bad. And sometimes it gets greasy and, slimy, and it just feels gross, so you have to wipe it against your pants and stuff. Or if you carry your microfiber around every day like me, you could use that to clean it. But it is really a hassle, and if you don't like that, I suggest you go with the white model or the platinum model if you're not in the States, because they don't offer that color to us here in the States because, well, I have no idea why they never give us the cool colors. But there is the sapphire blue and gold version if you do want to try those colors out, but those are the most fingerprint prone devices, so if you like how they look, then sure, you can get them, but fingerprints on those will be really bad to deal with. So in conclusion, is this phone worth it? The Samsung Galaxy Note 5. Well, it's been referred to by many as one of the best phones of 2015, and I can say that I'm one of those people who think this is one of the best smartphones of 2015 and possibly the beginning of 2016. But I do not think this is the best phone. It's just one of the best phones. If you do want a really good camera, a really good display, and those S Pen features, then I'd say definitely go for it. You can get it on a 2-year contract if your carrier still has them. Most carriers don't have them anymore, which is a good thing. Contracts suck. But anyways, you can get this phone for around $700 unlocked, which is a bit pricey, but remember, this is one of the best smartphones of 2015, and if you do want all those features, then this phone is a really good one. Well, that's about it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please hit that like button down below. Also hit that subscribe button, which is down below as well, if you'd like to see more awesome videos like this one. And tell us what you think of the video down in the comment section, which is down below again. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you, yes you, in our very next video. May the force be with you. Always.